time created one, and it's called milling 2-lane to match the name of our assembly. And there's one other step that you must do to have labels on your final production cross sections, and that is you need to bring in the point label assembly. And all this is going to do is create slope labels and elevation labels. And let me close the properties. I will show you where this assembly is. Go to the top assembly tab, assemblies FDOT. There's existing features and point label assembly. Just click and drag it over. And I can close the properties. Parameters are going to be preset. You don't need to change anything. I'm just going to drop this as an example of how I got the other one. You can do a little modification here. What you're going to need to do is select the assembly, go to the assembly properties. You're going to need to change the style, the display style of this assembly. So select it, right click, properties, and change it to X section typical, and all the labels will turn on. And from here, you can either run this assembly as a corridor. You will call it, in this case, we call it milling labels, but you can run it as it is. And then, as I'll show when we make our sections, you can delete a few of these labels that you could take out. For instance, the PGL left and right, and you can, when you take out the baseline without taking out the center line, and update your corridor and update your live sections to get the finished look and data that you want. But I'll go ahead and delete this one because I've already inserted one and have already generated a corridor, milling labels. And at this point, we can now close properties. We'll switch up to have sections already cut off of our sample line group. To bring this data in, select a section view, go to sample more sources, and here you can insert your multiple corridors. If you have multiple, you want to see how they look in the section views, the production views, you can insert them. So in this case, we want our milling 2-lane and milling labels. And let's make sure our styles are set correctly. We want FDOT existing for our existing profile. Milling 2-lane is our production FDOT X section mill, and milling labels X section typical. Click OK, and our sections should fill in with those two corridors on top of each other. And here we have our lanes and our slope labels with our elevation at the edge of your lane, edge of travelway, and this is your existing grade elevation. If you accidentally run your point label assembly after you have already created sections and inserted your production milling and overlay assembly corridor in, you have to erase your section views, go through the Create Multiple Section View wizard. The only change you need to make on the elevation range is change from automatic to user specified, follow a section, and pull down the select section, select milling 2-lane, and at that point continue as you did before and create your sections. And both the labels and the milling 2-lane corridor should